Hey, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Hey, white people. I'm just playing. I'm playing. I love white people. White people are cool. But we got a reaction we gotta do today. It's I don't know how to say that. Barkey Sellers Market. Hold on. The market lost its ass. The market lost its ass, and it's Trump's fault. Okay. That's a hell of a title. And I think that's a bad title. This is why the Democrats ain't getting nowhere. Because look at the titles. The market lost its ass. Like, anyways, subscribe, turn post notifications, smash that like button. Y'all know what to do. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's hop right into it. All right, I got it on. All right, boom.
No, but he keeps repeating it. He wants Canada to be the 51st state. So
Wait, hold on.
who knows if this is real, but he keeps repeating it. He wants Canada to be the 51st state.
Yes.
So what?
I don't know if Canada could be the 51st state, but if we combine resources, I do like that idea. But being the 51st state, no, that ain't happening. Let's go.
Why are you asking us to ignore what Trump is saying?
Because you've been watching Trump for 12 years. If
Yeah, and I don't ignore what he says anymore because he tends to do the
you
things
should
that he
you
says.
gotta listen. You gotta listen for the signal outside of the noise. He's bombastic. He says outrageous things. But from all that comes an interesting opportunity. In Canada, you've got the United States of America, the largest consumer market on earth, and Canada, the richest country on earth with everything everybody needs every day. You don't have to buy the country, and they're not selling their sovereignty, but if you get an economic union with no tariffs, and maybe a common currency, and maybe a common passport, and maybe something that could be done around making sure that everything is equalized, China will never catch up. And I think that's the opportunity. So even 3 hours ago, before I got here, Ford, who was talking about cutting off electricity, changed his mind. We're in a narrative of negotiation.
Well, I think both sides back.
That was see what I just say. That would be a better idea. Nobody has to give up their pride or their country or any kind of thing like that. Combined assets. Your Canada and America combined. What'd you say? Hold on, babe. What'd you say?
It will benefit U.S. more than it will benefit Canada.
Well, not necessarily, because Canada is just as wealthy of a nation as we are. It has so many resources that it can be used to be beneficial for, like, you said it would benefit the U.S. more than Canada?
Yeah.
You don't think it would? Yeah, okay. Kinda. It would benefit Canada too, though. I don't know. Okay. Let's keep going.
Back down, and they went to the negotiating table, which is, frankly, where they should have been in the
Happy,
first
it's
place.
kumbaya.
But it's not. It's the problem with that is one. I mean, when I have my good Republican friends at the table, the first thing they like to do is talk about the Biden economy, and I have to remember that if we had a sharp decline in the stock market under Joe Biden, then their hair would be on fire. It would be on Fox News 24/7. They would come in here and tell us that Joe Biden was asleep at the wheel. That's first. The second thing is, while Donald Trump has this uncertainty, and it's not just the uncertainty of the Trump administration, it's also the uncertainty of whether or not you're going to pass a CR, which Mike Johnson was able to do today. It's the uncertainty of what they're going to do next with tariffs, etc. But who gets lost in that? It's those people who have 401ks. It's those people who have retirements. I mean, it's those people who have money in the market to save for a rainy day. And so I got a great deal of respect for you. You know more about money than most. But to say that those people aren't being caught up in that whirlwind is just, I mean, that is a fact. While we're gaming out what Donald Trump says, the fact is the market lost its ass, and it's Donald Trump's fault.
You think the market's going to go down forever?
Well, no, the markets go down and up.
Yeah, but
Right. So you're saying that people have 401ks. You're saying they're having a meltdown. I mean, the market will go up and down, and it will go up. And over time, the United States stock market has done quite well. So, I mean, the president's been acknowledging he's expecting some short-term turbulence in the market, but I wouldn't measure the health of the stock market over a short period of time.
I'm actually measuring the health of the economy. One, especially over the last 3 or 4 weeks since he's been there.
We brought up 401ks. I just wanted to answer
But
that.
no, and I'm with you. But I can also, I mean, that is a very true sentiment. And actually, there are going to be a lot of people who text me tomorrow and be like, there ain't enough people who have money in the stock market, so it's not an issue that trickles down. So that could be another issue as well. But what I am saying is that the uncertainty, this tariff this morning by the afternoon is off. That is not a way to govern.
Well, I mean, and
That's a good point. He has a good point. You know, like we can't be worried about what's going to happen next. We need to understand what's going to happen next. However, though, Kevin O'Leary has a good point too. We've all been watching Trump for about 10 years, so we know what he says is not necessarily like what it really is. There's a underlying meaning behind what he's really saying sometimes. So like it's a back and forth kind of thing. Like you got to take the good for the bad. Like all this conversation to tariffs, but he hasn't implemented tariffs yet. He's saying they're going to happen in April. He said they're going to happen in March. Said they're going to happen in February. They didn't happen in February or March, and they're probably not going to happen in April. It's a negotiation thing. That's the type of person he is. But it's very bullyish at the same time, though. I don't know. I'm back and forth on this, man. But I do understand the connection between Canada. Like a common passport between us both. Like something that can combine our countries to where it could be like, boom, China could never catch up. That's a good point.
what you guys are talking about, that is directly controlled by the president. So the market will be up, the market will be down, but the president and the way he's going about the tariffs, he's directly influencing the way the market is moving. So the question is not whether or not the market will stay up or down, but whether or not Donald Trump will get consistent on tariffs and his economic plan soon so that people don't have this uncertainty.
I also think I'm looking at this from a different perspective for people who actually don't even have 401ks. There's a whole constituency of people who don't have retirement plans, don't have disposable income to buy stocks when they are down, because they are literally living paycheck to paycheck. And many of those individuals voted for Donald Trump. And I don't think you're right, man. What the president is saying is causing instability in the market. Now, last week we were at this table, and the market had dipped again, or before, twice last week, and it was like, well, it's one day. Now we're like 3 or 4 days in because of the language. So I think there are some people who will benefit from, probably people like Elon Musk, probably people who have the luxury to not just have a 401k, but have some extra cash on the side to make the most when the market goes down and they can buy stocks. But then
I want y'all to understand this too. Let me let her finish.
There's this whole set of people in middle America, that working class person, that doesn't have that luxury, and what is happening to them. And prices are still high. I get it, it's been 6 weeks, but prices are still high. And the social safety net programs that they often use are at risk.
Now, one thing is true.
I will say this though. Listen, y'all. When the market drops, millionaires and billionaires buy into the market. When it goes back up, they sell. I wonder, do y'all think he's tanking the market on purpose? Bear with me on that. But I do wonder if he's doing this on purpose. Part of me wonders that.
Eggs are down. Eggs are now cheaper than they were when Trump came in. Everybody's been whining about eggs. Eggs are now
So killing the chicken down. Killing the chicken.
I mean, maybe they're down a little bit, but they're still A, not available,
Look it up.
and B,
Well, we have to
they
grow
still
more
cost-
chickens, but eggs have got
They still cost more than $5 a dozen. Okay, but speaking of regular everyday Americans, one of the things that's been going on, in addition to all of this uncertainty, is that the cuts continue to affect real people. Here is the Agriculture Secretary talking about $1 billion in cuts to food banks and food programs that benefit United States schools.
Of course. Of course.
USDA cancels $1 billion in local food purchasing for schools and food banks. How do you justify that?
Well, listen, I think it's really important, and of course the left is doing what the left does. These were COVID-era programs. These were additional funds. Right now, from what we are viewing, that program was non-essential, that it was a new program, and that it was an effort by the left to continue spending taxpayer dollars that were not necessary.
Man.
You guys, it is cynical out there when we're talking about kids eating and
That's not
politics.
what that was about.
It was funny. It wasn't funny. During COVID, one of the main things that we all came together to do was to deal with the instability that kids who weren't in schools were going.
We're not at COVID.
I understand that, but if you think that child hunger is an issue of the past,
Always been an issue.
and it's an issue now, so I just don't see how you make a case to the American people. Some American people have been struggling, according to the right, for a couple of years now, that there is anything to be gained by cutting off food.
We are not in a
That program is also
I
one
don't think we're cutting enough.
But that program is also one that benefits not just the recipients, but also the farmers that are there able to purchase from. That's the main reason it's a DO, a Department of Agriculture.
This issue is not going to go away because it's very contentious. But when you cut in any organization, government or private, it's very demoralizing. It's traumatic and it gets lots of bad press, as we're doing right now. But that's why you cut 20% more. I think Elon's not cutting enough. Cut 20% more. Now, get your spreadsheet out. These are the names. Whack everybody, and then 20% more, as we do in the private sector every day and have done for 100 years in private equity, and hire back when the organization gels. That way, the demoralization only happens once. We're going to cut multiple times. More whacking.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Whack now and suffer the consequences later. And after the consequences come in, we build back up and we get where we need to go. If you're gonna cut, go crazy. Like, go crazy. That's messed up though to a lot of people out there who are workers. But that's just how capitalism works.
More whacking, more whacking, more whacking.
But let me just, can I explain to you that this is when running...
You need to explain to me.
No, you don't, because...
Actually, I do. I've done it multiple times.
But yeah, that's in the private sector. And you cannot run...
This is worse than
You cannot run everyday government the same way you run the...
Fat, dripping with waste government?
I'm not talking about fat, dripping with waste government.
What do we have?
I told you in the South, right now, in red states, do you know the number one cause...
What does this have to do with red or blue?
Can I finish my question? Do you know the number one cause for children underperforming in schools right now?
Bad educators.
No, Bakari, as a
My career was in education.
That's my point of bringing that up to you.
Yeah.
And so yes, you have things like the free and reduced lunch program. You have the summer lunch program.
Yes.
You have programs that were expanded so kids could actually... So I'm not arguing with you about your expertise in the private sector, but what I am saying is that a 20% cut or whack, you're cutting from Allendale Fairfax High School and Birmingham High School.
Okay.
You're cutting from places that really matter.
At Zeeler, we partner with you to create the lawn you've always wanted. Our lawn care program ensures every...
Dang, that was getting good too, man. Oh, well. Kevin O'Leary had a point. And so did the other guy. But Kevin O'Leary has done it multiple times, so we kind of should be listening to him more about it. But at the same time, like, yeah, cutting back on kids' hunger is weird. Anyways, peace out.